department and more about empowering and developing youth from the trade and industry department?
Well, we're doing a lot of work as a Department of Trade and Industry. We are now taking young companies owned by the youth to some of the missions, including accompanying the state president when we do state visits in a number of countries where we've got bilateral relationships and hoping to do trades. But more importantly, here at home, you will know that the president announced a program on black industrialists to ensure that we are able to empower the youth, the women, and the previously disadvantaged people in South Africa. We are hopeful that as we begin to reform some of our incentive schemes, we will ensure that majority they will benefit the youth, the women, as well as people with disability, because we have to fundamentally change the structure of our economy in South Africa.
Now, Mr. Masina, you talk about the economy, you talk about small businesses starting up, but how do we make sure that these businesses actually stay open, these people continue without having to shut down immediately after they've started?
Look, we have a president today who is going to be announcing some mentoring program that we are working together between an international foundation together with our NYDA. We are putting together all state institutions in the presidential working group on youth to ensure that that mentoring program, we get the best professionals in business to give support to youth-owned enterprises in a form of mentoring, coaching, so that those businesses can be sustainable forever. Because we believe that the youth must be able to create opportunities for other young people, because the youth unemployment in South Africa is very huge and is a problem that all of us must confront. But at the center of it all, we are working together with the Department of Higher Education to ensure that we strengthen the education system, but get as many young people as possible into institutions of higher learning so that they can improve their qualifications and be able to be employable. Because the youth unemployment, we can solve it only when we have youth that is unemployed but employable, not the youth that is unemployed and unemployable, which has been the dilemma over time. That is why we're rolling out a number of skills initiatives in South Africa to ensure that we realize that particular dream as well.
Now, Mr. Masina, you talk about a lot of youth initiatives that are going to be launched today, others that are already ongoing. But also, how do we make sure that these initiatives get to our poorest of the poorest of societies in our rural areas? Because, I mean, a lot of people say that these initiatives stay in the cities and in the towns and never go to the rural areas.
It's not necessarily correct. One of the skills development programs, for instance, is in the Western Cape in Saldanha, in the West Coast, is the far end of South Africa. So it will not be correct to say that all the initiatives are from the cities. But what tends to happen, people like yourself in the media, you focus a lot in the initiatives that are happening in the major cities. When we say to you, let's go to the outskirts of Venda, it becomes difficult for yourselves to actually come and join us to showcase the work that we are doing. So we're everywhere actually in terms of the work that we are doing in South Africa. And the young people of South Africa, they know the fact that government we're out there delivering services to young people. We would want to urge members of the media to come with us when we reach out to communities in the far end of South Africa, which is what normally you don't show as members of the media.
Also, a lot of youth or a lot of youngsters in South Africa today are very much interested in the happenings of Parliament. You are one of the young leaders there that people look up to. Just what your message is in you moving South Africa forward as a young leader?
Well, my message to the youth is that education is what will transform South Africa to ensure economic freedom that we want as this generation. You must remember, the generation of 1976 gave us freedom, which we all enjoy today. But our responsibility is to move South Africa forward, ensure economic transformation in South Africa. All of us will have to work together towards that particular attainment of that particular goal.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Mzwandile Masina. He is the Deputy Minister there of Trade and Industry, one of our young leaders in Parliament, telling us, the media, that we need to go to the rural areas. They have some initiatives there and not only focus in the cities. But I see that